Welcome to News Now. The United States has issued a global travel warning for its citizens amid possible increased terrorist threats. The State Department on Tuesday in Washington said current information suggested that militants with Boko Haram, ISIS, Al-Qaeda and other militant groups continue to plan attacks in several regions around the world. The alert said it will remain in place until February the 24th, 2016. Now, the release did not provide specifics of any planned attacks or threats and mentioned no specific regions, except to note that attacks this year in France, Nigeria, Denmark, Turkey and Mali. The State Department has regularly issued such worldwide travel alerts since September 11, 2001 attacks on the United States of America. Over the past few weeks, dozens of people have been killed in different attacks carried out by terrorists. Boko Haram in Nigeria bombed different locations with the latest, of course, being in Yola and Kano, both in northwest Nigeria and, of course, northeast of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has said Nigeria was taking appropriate steps to turn its abundant gas resources into veritable catalysts for development, as the nation's gas potential might be in excess of 600 trillion cubic feet. The president said this at the third summit of Gas Exporting Countries Forum in Tehran, Iran. He said the country was taking the steps because natural gas was fast evolving as the field of choice for sustainable development in view of its impressive suitability for environmental protection and lower cost of supply in comparison with fossil fuels. He therefore charged the leadership of the GECF to take appropriate steps towards sustaining the pricing of gas at the international market for the benefit of member countries. He said that the stability of the energy and financial market was critical to ensuring investments in current and future natural gas projects. Senate President Bukola Saraki has charged the Senate committees on petroleum, both upstream now and downstream, to facilitate timely passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill (PIB). Speaking at the inauguration of 12 more committees at the National Assembly, Saraki told other committee chairmen to ensure diligence in carrying out their oversight functions. The committees also include education, states and local government, employment, labor and productivity, among others.
We ensure that the resources that you require in order to be effective will be provided. The Senate Committee on Education. The 8th Senate is keenly aware of the dwindling fortunes of our education institution and the need to develop and implement a series of programs to revitalize basic education and secondary education. The Senate Committee on Education is charged with charting the course of the Senate's response. The 8th Senate expectations that before the end of the session, the committee will put in place a roadmap of necessary legislative intervention to revamp basic education secondary school system as a whole, with a framework that will directly target technical growth and competition. The Senate Committee on the Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Gas, the oil and gas industry remains the lifeblood of Nigerian economy. The industry is going through a downturn period, which represents also the opportunity for us to reform the local industry to meet the challenges changing times. Attempts in the past to reform the industry through the Petroleum Industry Bill have not been able to go full circle for a number of reasons. Significantly, this Senate this time round has adopted the PIB as one of our legislative agenda. It is our intention that this time round we will break this jinx. And in Senate, in doing that very soon, we hope that we will be able to come up with the PIB for first reading. After that, the effort now depends on the Senate committees of upstream, downstream and gas. We challenge you that once these bills are brought before you, they should receive prompt attention. And let us move from the past that some of this bill PIB stays for months and months with the committees to ensure that we implement and deliver on this promise.
I particularly count it as an honor and fulfillment of our collective electoral promise to our constituents to have been entrusted with the responsibility of repositioning these sectors for effective service delivery. We are all aware of the importance of these sectors in nation building. Education, they say, is power and must be given adequate and priority attention for the present and future development of our nation. It is disheartening to note that majority of our youth still roam the streets without work, despite the huge natural endowment of our nation. In order to try and alleviate the myriad of problems confronting the country, we shall all join hands with the present administration towards salvaging these sectors from further damage and total collapse.
Kogi State in Nigeria's central region continues to mourn Abubakar Audu, the candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress in the November 21 governorship election. Audu, who is a former governor of the state, was laid to rest on Monday in his country home, Ogbonicha, in Ofu local government area of Kogi State. Audu died shortly after the announcement of the election results on Sunday, which was ruled inconclusive. The reason for his death is yet to be announced by his family members. Now, following his death, Governor of Kogi State, Idris Wada, declared a 3-day mourning period in the state. Huge crowd of sympathizers besieged the residence of the late politician on Monday, a day after his death, to witness his burial ceremony. The trial of Senate President Bukola Saraki at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT, has been suspended following an order of the Supreme Court suspending trial pending the determination of his appeal. Saraki was billed to appear at the tribunal on Monday for the continuation of hearing. The public relations officer of the tribunal, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, however, said that the hearing would not hold. Al-Hassan said the decision to suspend the hearing was to show due respect to the Apex Court's directive for stay of proceedings. Justice John Fabiyi, leading a 5-man panel of justices of the Apex Court, ordered the Justice Danladi Umar-led tribunal to suspend further hearing in the matter. Saraki is facing a 13-count criminal charge to which he had pleaded not guilty. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has failed to appear before court over the right enforcement suit filed by the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired. Malami again refused to show up at a federal high court sitting in Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital territory, to explain why the order of the court granting Dasuki permission to travel for medical treatment was being flouted. At the resumed hearing of the suit on Monday, the federal government opposed the application for the enforcement of fundamental human rights filed by Dasuki on the ground that he needed to be present in court to seek any relief. Colonel Dasuki is facing charges of alleged money laundering and unlawful possession of firearms. He has denied the allegations, saying he acted in the interest of the nation.
We came in anticipation that the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation will come and answer to the queries made by the learned trial judge. But as you heard the DPP say, they have an application to revoke our bail because of new investigation they are conducting. And it appears that the Attorney General would not come. So I think every matter has been adjourned to the 26th for us to now deal with the issue of the pending orders of the court that have been flouted on that day.
The Department of State Services has filed an application before a magistrate court sitting in Abuja seeking to withdraw the case of criminal conspiracy and criminal intimidation preferred against Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. At the resumed hearing of the case on Monday, the prosecutor told the court that the DSS had uncovered fresh facts against the accused person, who has also been tried for unlawfully belonging to an illegal society. The director of Radio Biafra is standing trial for alleged criminal conspiracy, managing and belonging to an unlawful society, and criminal intimidation.
On the 28th, I brought an application, what we call Form 48, which is contempt proceedings against the authority, that they should show cause why they are in disobedience to court order. That contempt proceedings was served on the authority. Now, in addition to it, we came back to court. I filed a motion asking the court that the court will not give them opportunity of saying anything in this court until they obey the order. It is on the premises of that application that they came with a counter affidavit, and that was how we saw that they had gone to the Federal High Court to get an order. But there is a point to make. in all of this, the 3 orders we got from this court predates the order they got. All our orders were gotten between the 23rd and the 26th of October. But their own order was gotten on the 10th, ex parte. And an ex parte is supposed to last for 7 days, then you come back to court and then serve us. But what we're saying is that it is for the world to look at what is transpiring. We are asking that the rule of law should be obeyed. We are not saying that Nnamdi Kanu is declared did not commit anything. But under Chapter 4 of our Constitution, he's presumed innocent. He's supposed to enjoy the bail that was given to him to enable him prepare for his trial. What we are saying is that whatever you have, put it in front of the court. Let us come and then follow it, sequentially, and then look at it from the point of law. But we are still at the preliminaries where somebody has been granted bail for over 1 month. And we're still arguing as to whether he will get his freedom or not.
We'll take a short break here. News now. We'll be right back. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on TV360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions. The Central Bank of Nigeria has cut the monetary policy rate MPR from 13% to 11%. This was disclosed by the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele at the end of a 2-day rate-setting meeting in Abuja. The CBN also cut cash reserve ratio from 25% to 20%. Now, this is Nigeria's first MPR cutback in about 3 years, and this decision is expected to put money back into the banking system to enable banks begin to lend, of course, to the real sector. Total exports of Nigerian crude oil are expected to rise by nearly 10% to a 3-month high in January, according to initial loading programs. Nigeria's export plan for January includes a total of at least 61.8 million barrels of oil, or 1.99 million barrels per day, the highest, of course, since October this year. Loading information for at least 2 programs was still pending, meaning the total could rise further, but the program was already 5 cargoes above the 1.82 million barrels per day initially planned for December. The oil will face an uphill battle to find outlets as a growing list of regions hosted unsold cargoes. Nigeria State Oil Company, NNPC, recently lowered official selling prices for the country's oil to their lowest in more than a decade as the fight for market share and millions of unsold barrels took their toll. Oil prices rose on Tuesday as tensions in the oil-rich Middle East escalated. This comes as a weaker US dollar provided incentive for investors to buy more oil. Brent futures for January were up 67 cents to $45.50 a barrel, while US crude was up 68 cents at $42.43 a barrel. Now, OPEC is set to meet to review its policy months after a shift in the organization led member countries in 2014 now to defend market share against competing suppliers rather than cut output to prop up prices. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has described the downing of a Russian warplane on the Turkish-Syrian border as a stab in the back. The Russian president, speaking before a meeting with King Abdullah II of Jordan in Sochi, said the plane had been shot down over Syrian airspace and fell 4 kilometers inside Syria. Putin said it was obvious the plane posed no threat to Turkey. Turkey says its jets shot at the plane after warning that it was violating Turkish airspace. However, Russia's defense ministry, in a series of tweets, confirmed that a Russian Su-24 has been shot down, but insisted the plane had never left Syrian airspace and claimed that fire from the ground was responsible. NATO is set to hold an extraordinary meeting to discuss what has happened. Nigeria under-23 national team coach CM Samson Siasia has named his 21-man squad for this month's African under-23 Cup of Nations in Senegal. The Dream Team 6 manager handed out a surprise invitation to the 2015 FIFA under-17 World Cup highest goal scorer Victor Osimhen. The 17-year-old was rewarded for his historic performances in Chile. Siasia also recalled Liverpool striker Taiwo Awoniyi after he missed September's All-Africa Games in Congo owing to club commitments. The Dream Team 4 were drawn with Egypt, Mali and Algeria in Group B of the African Under-23 Cup of Nations. The tournament will be held from November the 28th to December 12, 2015, with the top 3 teams qualifying to represent Africa at Rio 2016. Michel Platini's lawyer, Thibaut Dalles, has accused the FIFA Ethics Committee, currently looking into a case against his client, of seeking the maximum sanction of a lifetime ban as punishment against his client. Platini is currently serving a 90-day ban following investigations of an alleged payment made by Blatter to Platini in 2011 over work done several years earlier. The appeal committee last week confirmed rejecting his appeal against the ban. In a statement Monday, FIFA confirmed that the Ethics Committee have looked into the case against Platini and decided to begin formal proceedings against him. The Ethics Committee also revealed that it will be making a decision to possibly extend his ban in December. Now, his lawyer has now spoken out for his client, saying that the committee has recommended a lifetime ban as punishment for his client. He described FIFA's demand for a lifetime ban as, quote, scandal and, quote, excessive. Real Madrid president Florentino Perez has given his coach Rafa Benitez a public vote of confidence despite last Saturday's 4-0 defeat by their arch-rivals Barcelona. The Madrid side suffered their 109th defeat against Barca as goals from Luis Suarez, Neymar and Andres Iniesta helped Barcelona secure a comfortable victory. The side was booed off at both the half-time and full-time whistles as the fans voiced their frustration at the dismal performance. The situation forced club president Perez to call a press conference to seek solutions to the mini-crisis at the club. At the press conference, Perez admitted that though the club's board were concerned about the humiliating nature of the defeat, they still believe that Rafa Benitez is the right man for the job. Well, that's it in news now. Thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.